Good morning, everybody. I need y'all to turn your seats if you're facing that way, you should be facing this way. This is where most of the action's going to happen, right up here. I'm certainly glad that you are here this morning. It's a little unusual. I know you're not in front of your computer screen, and we'll try to muddle through. Okay? But this is our business and economics day. We have an interesting morning and afternoon ready for y'all, so we're glad that you're here. The restrooms are down.
Lauren?
We'll have plenty of opportunities to get and move around, but especially when our main speakers come, if you please could give them all, as much attention as you can, because they're not taking time out. And we were to do this yesterday, and then like Tuesday, we found out that Lufkin was taking SAPs yesterday, and so we moved everything. Will Alvis just walked in the door. Will is in charge of putting this day together, and somehow or another, Will was able to convince everybody to move it a day later, which is nice, and thank you, Will. But I will talk to y'all later as we get going through the day. But right now, I'm going to turn it back over to Todd.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I know that most of these faces I get to see every day, and others that we've met on either online or in person. So I know that this is the dreaded thing whenever you come to an actual in-person meeting. We are going to do some activities this morning so that we can talk, get moving, that kind of thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by behind us. We have some open space there. Let's get in a circle around. Okay, let's do this. The one thing that I've learned while working at Lufkin High School, coming from Central, is that we think we know everybody, and we see each other in the hallways and stuff like that. And when there's 2,000 students on your campus, there's always people that you just kind of like see in the hallway, right? And then we also have new faces that we don't get to see every day. So the first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to start, and we're going to go this way. We're going to say our name, and then something that makes you different. So let's just say that it's like I play drums at my church, which I don't. Okay. So my name is Ty Kaufman. I'm one of the assistant principals at Lufkin High School that's over student activities, and I teach Zumba. Yeah. Okay. Christian. Okay. That's awesome. Thank you, Christian. Go ahead.
Simba. Yeah.
I'm in your again, and I'm going for one. Also play golf. Slightly better than JD.
Better than JD.
He said slightly better.
I'm Gabe Clare, and Dan Swan.
Okay.
Connor Ainsworth, I actually do play drums in church.
I'm Lily Baston, and I do here. I'm Paige Johnson, and I'm on the accounting team.
Okay, very good. Well, yes. So I think that the most important thing that we kind of forget is that even though there are a lot of things that we do, that there's always like something else that we can see in other people, you can connect with. A lot of things that you're going to start experiencing as juniors and even seniors is the feeling of needing to connect with other people. We're going to end up our day finishing with some tips, tricks for interviews, because you're fixing to start getting into time where you're either needing a job or applying for a different program, you're applying for a scholarship. I have sat in scholarship interviews as a student, not just as a junior, senior, but also through our college. that were in upwards of like $50,000. And it really depends on what you say in that range that makes you different from somebody else. Why should I give you this money? Why should I give you this job? And there's things that make you stand out really, really quickly. And I want to be able to share those things with you. Just being able to already speak up, share something about yourself is the first step, right? Even if it is taking care of plants or being a part of the STEM Academy, you've got to think about what is me? Like deep down, what is something that is me? I like this exercise from Cheer, right? Where you're like, hey, this is so-and-so, and she's from another town. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody not know what I'm talking about? So whenever cheerleaders get at a football game, what they do is they take each other to the other side where their school is not at, and they're like, hey gang, come on down. This is Paige from another town, and she's a sophomore, right? They're able to say something about them, okay? Whenever you leave an interview, you should be able to have something that sticks in their mind that is, this is what's about them, okay? And it's about making those connections. Next thing we're gonna do, you're just gonna step forward, okay? So let's all step back. So we have everything step forward, yeah? Who has a job? Okay, go ahead, say that. How many of you are trying out for something currently? Trying out for something currently? Like trying out for a team, trying out for a UIL, anything? Okay, go ahead, say that. How many of you are currently in a season? Like you're in your competition time? How many of you are working on SAT stuff? Start taking your SAT to ACT early. Go ahead and say that. Changing it up here. How many of you feel like this year has been unfair?
Oh, wait a minute, sir.
Why do you think the year's been unfair?
We've had to do things so differently when we do it on TV.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like it's like more like a collective, because like we just have to adjust to different things and it's harder, it's harder.
Yeah, right in.
What up? Going over my stuff.
Right in. I'm sorry, not right in.
Hoping I don't screw it all up.
Last year, that senior group, right? I helped with all the graduation stuff at the high school. And so you're talking about 600 kids that are not going to finish their senior year, not going to have prom. Graduation looking completely different. And we talk a lot about them being kind of robbed of their senior year. But in essence, our seniors this year, our juniors this year are also getting a lot of things that are like, well, when we say, oh, you've always got another year, sometimes you really don't have another year, right? And so we have to learn how to navigate those things mentally, physically, getting through them, right? It's been very challenging. Do we agree? Okay, let's go to that. Has anyone learned anything from our snowpocalypse?
You're poorly prepared.
Lily, what do you think?
Oh, God. Wait.
Okay, Guillermo?
We're not modeling here.
Yeah. Gotta do something different, right? East Texas has way too many trees for us to be doing things we live in. Can we agree? Ian, what'd you learn?
There's some water on the faucet, so I woke up so many times when I was like, "Is water on?" I was like, "No, my pipes are not, I don't have any water for the rest of the day, so there's no water on, so." That's what it is.
Christian, what'd you learn? No, I'm still bad. Oh, come on now. We're just not built for this, right? We did not sign up to live in Colorado. Everybody sit back. So some of the things that I want us to start seeing here is that we've all experienced a lot of the same things. But what we do is we find some encouragement in seeing that there are other people that are going through those same things. You've got to be able to find people that fit where you are. There was a superintendent here in Lufkin, her name was Dr. Goffney, and one of the things that she has kind of kept as a mantra, do we know what a mantra is? It's like a self-affirmation, like I'm going to continue keeping this as my goal. It's something that I keep in the back of my head to kind of drive my thoughts. But something is that if you are the smartest
I think
person
they're
in the
from
room,
ADAC.
then you need to find a different room.
ADAC, but I'm not sure.
I can't hear.
Okay?
ADAC, I think they're from ADAC.
You are now in this room together, right? Y'all are all in this together.
No, I'm not sure.
You're going to see each other
I was just thinking of
throughout the next year,
graphics.
whether it be going out to the county fair or volunteering at the rec center or
They gave them back.
doing whatever you're doing at a
We just
baseball
haven't
tournament, a
met
golf
to give them
tournament,
out.
robotics team tournament. It doesn't matter. You're going to be able to see each other. And I encourage you to not let, oh, well, we were in that group together, but I don't know if she's going to remember my name, so I'm just going to stand over here. You've got to keep that attitude of being able to connect with people because you really are going through those same things even though we don't want to say
Can I
that.
email one of your volunteer
So,
paperwork?
everybody
Because
comes
I
a
have
little
to
bit
turn
better.
in who taught the lesson.
Okay, focusing into our interview stuff, which is my absolute favorite. So how are you on you? Please don't take it personally.
JA,
We're just gonna
when I have to submit
Okay, I'm gonna be
where
on here.
resources
So go ahead and
are, so I
sit
have to
back
say
where
who's
we
the-
were, okay?
It's recording it.
Just let me know. I'll be there.
Say that again?
If you go to Galveston, just let me know. I'll be there.
It's good. Just walk away. It does, it's kind of wiggly.
I'm gonna stand over here so I can take my match off, not match off, my mask off. Whenever someone comes into an interview, okay, the way that they walk into a room, the way that they shake hands, and the way that they sit in a chair, to me, and most anyone that is on a committee, is gonna make some kind of difference. And you think, sitting in a chair, how you walk in, how you shake hands, all of those things are gonna actually make a difference. They really do. One, we're not gonna shake hands because we can't. But we are gonna learn how to sit in a chair today. Okay? We are gonna learn how to walk in. If this is my table, sit in this chair, this is my table. And always the chair seems to be pushed in. When somebody walks into a room, okay, thank you, and then they get in here and they just stand awkwardly. Like, do I wait for you to sit down? Do I pull the chair out now? Do I look at the chair? Do I fussle with it and try to pull it back, or what do I do? All right? All those things that you really don't think about until you're in that exact second, and you don't want to look silly. Okay? Whenever you walk into a room, if I'm walking in, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to greet everybody. How are you doing? Because I'm not going to awkwardly do this. How are you? Hello. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Right? And it's uncomfortable because Ian, he's the third person in his handshake. Shake. And he already knows that it's awkward that you're fixing to lean across the table. Right? Don't do it. If you're having to walk up to this committee, you're having to sit right there or stand right here. All you've got to do is just keep your distance and say, "Good morning, guys. How are you doing?" "Oh, well, doing good. How are you, sir?" "How are you doing?" Right? Check. Done. You just greeted everybody. You've also shown that you don't mind speaking up, that you're looking at all of them. Right? Check. Your chair. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, how are you guys doing? And I'm going to look down and I'm going to pull my chair out and I'm going to sit down. Paige, do you mind helping? You're coming into an interview. I need you to sit in this chair for me.
Okay.
Right or wrong?
I'm guessing it's wrong.
That's me. Anybody else want to try? Next. Let's have somebody else. Reagan, come on. Okay, coaches, sit down for this interview. Next. Mr. Chair, I thought you were fixing
Whoa, he owns it.
Start picking your nails next.
Are you coming in for this interview?
I can. Let's hope I do it right.
Yeah, come on, let's go. She found her seat. And then did you see this? Ready? Here, I'm gonna get you to turn and sit. She is sitting on the edge of her seat. Prompt. She's sitting up. She's not like, oh, this is a comfy chair. Okay? All of that shows me, thank you, Mr. Wright. All of this shows me that I am paying attention to everything that's here. I'm not breaking eye contact with you. I found the chair with my hand, and then I'm sitting on the edge of the table, or the edge of the chair. So that if this is my table, I can sit here, prompt, with my hands on the table. I'm ready to talk to you. My hands are not down here. Okay? I'm ready to have business with you. I'm ready to share something. I'm ready to tell you about myself. Did you ever see these things? Are you ready to do it again? Okay. Come on in, have a seat with me.
Wait, which camera?
Up here.
This one? Okay. Look, I'm looking at you. So, I messed that up.
And the thing is that you think, do I need to practice this? The answer is yes.
Yes, you do.
You really do. Okay, thank you. You redeemed yourself. Okay, you redeemed yourself. So, we know how to walk into a room. We know how to greet people. Do we need to shake hands?
No, it's not right now.
Not right now. It's COVID. But also, it also makes it really, really awkward. Even if you have people that are on a panel, right? They're all like sitting side by side by side by side. You still don't want to. How are you? Have a good day. Hello. Right? Those things are awkward. Don't do
These are
that.
other shirts.
You guys have a good day. Even when you're ready to go.
Perfect.
I really appreciate this time. Thank you. You guys have a good day. All right, this is an international hello. All right, it's okay to be a little bit of a politician at that time. No. This is a no. This is a firm like, thank you for your time. Okay? The next thing, they're going to ask. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of things are you going to talk about? Desiree, give me something you're going to say.
I have like good communication skills, and I was into like that, like about my skills and just think about that.
Okay, I'm done. Y'all good? What else? You ever what about that? Some accomplishments? Okay. Ian, what are you going to say?
I have no idea.
No idea?
Honestly, no idea.
The first thing is that people need to see that you're a real person, right? You're not a resume. You're not. Well, I graduated from high school this time, or I plan to graduate from high school this time, and then I'm going to go to A&M this time, and I plan on graduating this year and having a degree in this, and I've been a part of these clubs, and they can read that on your resume. They need to see something that's you, right? So, some other things. Now that I've given you that, what might be something that you would share, Dave?
There's like certain like social skills or something you might have depending on the job.
Depending on the job. How many of you, your parents work in a public service? Okay? What is a public service? Like, you provide a service to the public.
Anything that involves the public.
The public.
Yes,
By definition, probably not.
okay.
Public service things would be like police officers, fire people, but you can open that window up into teachers, and you can open that up into businesses and things like that. So yes, it's dealing with the public.
Okay.
Okay? Most everybody, right? Unless your parent is like a technology business owner who is self-employed and has no other employees. Okay? So it's pretty much everybody. You start with some of those things. Good morning, my name is Ty Kaufman, and because I want them to say my name correctly, right? Do you know how many interviews I've been in where they've asked if my name is T? It's like, it is T-Y. How can you get this wrong? Or, is that short for Tyler? That's a quick way to like elevate me to a 10. My name is not Tyler, it is Ty. So I'm going to go ahead and clarify for everybody, right? My name is Ty Kaufman, and I'm the son of educators. Check. Now they know what type of life I have been raised in. I'm the son of a doctor. My parents work in healthcare. My family is involved in nursing. Whatever it is that's going to help them identify you as what type of background you have. Okay? All of you have really interesting stories, right? Saw this thing on Facebook this morning of everybody has a fingerprint so that you can leave a different mark on the world, right? Kind of cheesy, but it's the truth. Is that you've got to make sure that you are saying all those things right up at the front that's going to catch someone's attention. Okay, because it's not all the meat in the middle, it's how you start and finish that they're going to remember. Okay? So, thinking of that, what are some things that I'm going to say? I'm going to say my name, I'm going to make sure that I have what my background is, and then I'm going to say something that's going to be completely different from everyone else by like thanking them. And I just really appreciate y'all took the time to visit with me today. Okay? Whenever they ask you a question, is it okay to not respond or like say, I don't know?
No.
Always have an answer. My favorite thing. Who's going to volunteer to answer this interview question for me? Can I get volunteer? Bella, wonderful. Bella, come interview with me. Would you mind? Here, come on in, have a seat. Thank you for coming today.
Wait, chair. No, do you want to sit down again?
Yeah.
I was thinking how I would actually respond to it.
So here, I'm gonna open the door. Hey, come on in. How are you today? Go ahead and have a seat with me. There you go. See, it's okay to sit down before everybody else. You don't have to like wait on it, because then that's awkward. Because I don't know if I'm supposed to wait on her, and she don't know if she's supposed to wait on me. Okay? Thank you for coming in today, Bella. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I like to be rude. Alright, okay.
It's not an actual interview. You're just
Yeah,
messing
you're just
around.
having fun. This is why it's important to practice.
I like to deal with engineering and architecture. And my parents are in building products and interior design, so my mom's in interior design, so I kind of got her. And I like to.
It's okay to have fun too.
And
So that's exactly where I get my love for designing things. Right? Because I want to know that you're a real person. You're not a robot reading me a script. Okay? Okay, keep going.
What was it? I'm a very productive person, and I do well under pressure.
Awesome.
I work good with groups, and I like to be a leader.
So that's just a little bit about me.
That's just a little bit about me.
Right? She wants to finish it off on a positive note. You just want to be like, that's it. That's it. Okay, then we're done. I don't need to ask you anything else. That's it. Right? So wrap it up until the end of the comment. My favorite question of all time, and then we're going to get to how we close it, because it's the most important question I feel like. So, I've already asked you about your strengths. So, what are two of your weaknesses as a architect?
Sometimes I don't know how to deal with the technology, and, because we have been doing some experiments in STEM, and it's very hard.
Okay, let's stop. Okay, was she honest?
Yeah.
And did she answer my question?
Yeah.
Is there a way to fix it?
Yes.
Why?
Because she did something that would like hurt her in that career field.
But she was honest, right? And I want to know if you like are struggling with technology. Because, I mean, you're an architect, you need to be able to draw and design things, but at the same time, I need to know if I need to like get you some extra help with the computer program, right? Because she's being honest. That's not a bad thing. But we can say exactly what you just said and flip it around to being helpful to yourself with a few words. So instead of saying, what'd you say, I struggle with? I struggle with technology, right? Something that I'm working to improve. Period. Yes. Something that I'm working to improve on is helping with technology. There are some things that with different applications, I struggle with making sure that I did the right thing, but it is something that I've identified and I'm working on it. It's not just like, this is a problem and I know it. Right? Check. I know that you are now driven to improve yourself. You're not just sitting there saying, oh, well, I've already identified this as a problem. If you want to hire me, I'm not going to be able to do anything on the computer. Okay? So let's already answer that question. So you've already told me some really great strengths that you have as an architect, but what is maybe one thing that you find as a weak point?
So I have been struggling with technology and finding out how to work with the applications. But lately I've been experimenting and going back and going more in depth and seeing how to actually do it instead of struggling.
Okay. Keep those words in mind of, I've identified it, I'm working on it. Okay? Something that I've identified that I'm working towards fixing. So I know it's a problem, but I'm working to fix it. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. No, that was wonderful.
You get a prize. Ooh.
Did you really get a prize? So the last thing, when you wrap up an interview and they ask, do you have any more questions? A lot of times on your mind, on your brain is like, yeah, how much am I going to be paid?
Yep.
Right? Is that always the most appropriate question to ask during an interview? No. Probably not, because if you'll do it up
Yes.
point, which I know your Asian people are extremely good at, you can find
Were you ever going to
something
be
that's going to tell you
interviewed?
about what you're going to make. Somewhere. So that's not the question to ask. The question to ask that is going to make the biggest difference for people your age is going to be, what are some qualities that you are looking for the individual to fill this position? What is it that you're looking for, right? I'm a principal. I, in an interview, am also interviewing the school. I need to know, what is it that you want from me? Because if you want something that's like way over here, probably not going to be what I'm great at. You all know me by now. Do I sound like or act like a disciplinary principal? I don't, because discipline is not my thing. Okay? You can ask Miranda back there. I had her in junior high. I had an assistant principal who was my discipline principal. Okay? Y'all all know him because he's out at ACE. Okay? That's where he works now. He's a discipline principal. He takes care of that kind of thing. That's not where I fit in. So if they would have said, well, we're actually looking for somebody who's going to take care of all the discipline for grade level, I'd be like, oh, that was great. I've had some experience with discipline, but it's definitely something that I'm working on. Right? Okay? Because you need to know, what is it that they are looking for from you? Okay? That's the last thing that you need to say. What is it that you are looking for in this job? So that you can know if it's right for you. Okay? Whenever you get done with your interview, it's always very awkward. Should I shake hands? Do I greet them again? Do I thank them again? Do I get myself up? At this point, you need to take control of the interview, right? Because if you're waiting on them to do it, there's multiple people sitting there. Or it may just be one. But you need to take control so that you don't look silly. Well, guys, I really appreciate the interview. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, right? I'm always looking at you and looking across the whole thing. Even if somebody asks you a question, if Trent asks me the question, I'm not going to just answer Trent and like eye contact the whole time of answering this question. I'm going to answer, look at him, but I'm also going to be talking to all of you as I answer any kind of question, right? whenever you're wrapping it up, take control of the situation. Thank you so much for having me today. If you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to answer or clarify anything. There are a lot of interviews that I've been in where I've had to call somebody back and ask them to clarify what they meant by I'm certified to be a teacher. And you're like, what? How can you clarify that? Because they'll say I'm certified, but what that means is I took the test, but I haven't gotten my results back yet. Always be sure to clarify anything that they need, give them that opportunity, okay? So it's not final. Then you can get yourself up. Thank you. You guys, you have a good day. It was great to see all of you, and then you can let yourself out. Okay? I have also sat in interviews where somebody gets up, and they go, hey, thank you, and like hit the door, and like open it up, and like never want to turn their back on me because somebody had said, don't ever turn your back on me who's interviewing you. Those things just don't make sense. At the end of the day, you're a person. You need to be natural as a person. Okay, you don't have to be like backing out of the room. Right? That's just not going to happen. It's not feasible. So think about all of those little things. Does anybody have any questions? No? What is my expectation of you? Okay, guys. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to these guys. Thank you for being good participants this morning. As always, please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I am here to help. And so I know that I see most of you guys every day, but even for our off-campus people, or for our people at home, please feel free to reach out to me. I know that this is reference letter time, and it's going to continue being reference letter time. I know your schedules are very busy with end-of-year stuff, but don't let those little things that can be check boxes be hazardous to you. Reach out and let people help you. That's what myself is for. That's what Mr. Steve, Ms. Jared, all of our jobs are, is to help plug you in where you need to go. Community service hours. If you still need some community service hours, let me know. We can get you plugged in. Okay? There's lots of different events that, as we have opened up our mask requirements and things like that, that maybe our schools might not see as much of a difference, but our community is able to start hosting and doing things more that are needing volunteers. Okay? I know the most recent one I got is Junior League. I don't know if anyone, are you Junior League ladies? But I know that Junior League is fixing to do something that they need a lot of volunteers for. Okay? So just come talk to me. Send me an email, call me. Okay? Thank you guys.
All right. It's me. Did you? Mm-hmm. Goody, goody. You want an intro? No. You're not gonna get one. You're not gonna get one.
Hey guys, we'll see y'all next time.
All right.
Well, how's everybody doing? My name is Will. I'm on the committee. I helped plan out Dell today, so hope you enjoy it. Appreciate Ty coming in to talk today. One of the things that he said, when you talk about practice and things, and getting ready for an interview. When you go into an interview, you want to be as confident as possible. So I think what you can get from practice, it feels awkward, it feels like you're talking in an area you don't really understand why you're doing it. And when you sit down and have the ability to just talk from one thing to the other, and you don't get nervous, and you just feel comfortable, you understand why you practice. And even the little things like sitting down and learning how to do that makes a big difference. Once again, my name is Will Alice. I'm from Jasper, Texas originally. I play baseball at Louisiana Tech. I'm working Merrill Lynch. I work in finance, which encompasses the financial services part of the day. That's about all we'll talk about, finance. We're going to go over. We have some really good speakers lined up for y'all. I'm probably not one of them, but you get these a little bit. We have some really interesting people that do a lot, not just for the community, but the way they got there is really fun and really exciting. And so what some of these people are entrepreneurs. Does anybody know what an entrepreneur is? Go ahead.
It's kind of like an
They made it.
Is there a slideshow?
All right, we'll go with that. Anybody else?
For me and for Lauren. I thought it came with one.
No wrong answers here. Okay, y'all are starting off hot. All right, so an entrepreneur is, the definition, today, by the way, we're going to be doing some lessons with Junior Achievement. Stacey Hodges gives some material, and so the first lesson is really on entrepreneurship. And so an entrepreneur is someone who starts a business with the intention of earning a profit. Anybody know what a profit is? Everybody knows what a profit is? All right. All right, so does everybody know who Jeff Bezos is? All right, who's Jeff Bezos?
Amazon CEO. Well, wasn't he former Amazon CEO?
He was an entrepreneur. Do you know originally what is Amazon? Anybody, what do you get from Amazon?
Multiple services, they probably get a lot of stuff.
So what did it start out as?
Is it literally something that's garage or something? Or that's not.
Book company.
What was it?
There's a book company.
A book company. A book company. So it was basically an online retailer where you could buy books, you could buy digital books, and what they did is enhance their platform. And so they had a way of distributing things. They had a way of distributing content. They had a way of distributing materials. And so what they were allowed to do is expand and really grow their business in a lot of different areas. And it all came from the thought of, I want to be able to provide a service, this service, this service, but you had the mindset that you could grow and expand and implement it in a sort of different ways. So, what do you think entrepreneurial qualities are? How many? Okay, we go.
You have to know how to do it. You have to know how to edit things, stuff like that. It's how to do it possible.
Yeah. That's definitely more of in line of a business owner.
Be driven, be motivated.
Driven, motivated. Those are great words.
Creative for English State Hospital business.
Creative. That's a good one. What you got?
I was just gonna say they have to be able to risk everything in order to get started.
And you're right. And so the words that we have, smart, driven, they think outside the box, inspired by innovations, visionary, and innovative. So I think those are all great answers. So obviously, with Jeff Bezos being an entrepreneur, he has a lot of those things. The good thing about when you own your own company is you might have a great idea, but you can surround yourself with good people to help you make it better. So there's three different ones. So you have a business, you can be an entrepreneur for business, and with that business you can have products and you can have services. So it doesn't have to necessarily be just an invention where you create something and you try to sell it. You can create a service. And I think Amazon is a prime example of having both of those. So you have the book portion of it, and then you have the service of online content. You have, I guess, Amazon Prime now. You have all these different things that just encompass that ecosystem of Amazon. A product or business is a company or organization that sells products or provides services to customers. Product is a physical item to be used, such as a car or scissors. What's the last product someone in here has bought? Just open the question. Whatever you got, throw it out. Shoes. What was it?
Gum.
Gum. Okay.
Possibly gum.
Hot glue gun. What was that for?
A product.
A project. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. That's horrible. But I'm glad you did. Anybody else? Come on, Aggie. Anything? The sweater? That was a bad purchase. Alright, I was going through some of these yesterday, and it's more of an activity that usually we have some names up there that you have a little bit of a hint. And I was talking to a few people yesterday, and they actually got a few of them, so I'll go over them. There'll be 3 clues. I'll go one at a time. And if you know who this person is, this entrepreneur is, just raise your hand, okay? Or just blurt it out. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty difficult to find these. All right, so clue 1. When he was 16 years old, he forgot to bring music to the exercise class he was teaching. All right, clue number 2. To teach the exercise class, he had to improvise using a tape of Latin songs instead. And so this can be the entrepreneur or the business, so you can either one of them. No, okay, no, nothing still. Today, his classes are taught in more than 180 countries. Do you might know what this product might be?
Ty teaches one.
Zumba. It was. It's, we were talking earlier after Ty said that. Beto Perez is his name, and his name's Alberto Beto Perez. Is a Colombian dancer, choreographer. He established Zumba in 2006, and now employs several hundred instructors. Some 15 million people worldwide take Zumba. I am not one of those 15. All right, I'll do 2 more of these, and then I'm going to break up into a little activity. I think that group might be a little bit understaffed, but I believe in y'all in the back corner. All right, this entrepreneur was inspired while traveling in Argentina, where he met children unable to afford shoes.
Phone's ringing.
Who is it?
Lennon?
Okay, I'll pop that. Clue number 2. Today, for every pair of shoes it sells, his company donates a pair of shoes to a child in need.
Is it Tom?
It's
I
Tom's.
said it was Tom.
Tom's.
I was like,
All right, let me do 1 more and then we'll break up in this group. All right, so
We got the Tom's, right?
Chris also texted. I don't know, it doesn't show the actual message. Just
I'm waiting to see my distraction.
Yeah, I'm just a giver.
I know. All right, so this person, she created a prototype of her product by cutting a pair of the feet off her pair of pantyhose. Yeah. She went to North Carolina, the location of most of America's hosiery mills, to present her idea. She was turned away by every industry representative.
Spanx.
All right, in 2000, her product was featured on Oprah Winfrey's talk show. Sales exploded, reaching 4 million in the first year and 10 million in the second year.
Was she on Shark Tank?
Do what?
Was she on Shark Tank by any chance?
No, Shark Tank was a different of these answers, but the product is Spanx.
She was on Shark Tank,
That was on
yeah.
Shark Tank.
Yeah.
I knew it was online, so I knew that.
All right, so one last thing before you break y'all up, just let y'all at your table. We're gonna come up with, I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes, and just come up with an idea. Just talk among your group, and then I'll have each one of you present. So I'll give you 5 minutes, and each one of you can present the idea. Just really quick. So think about that, and then one last thing, social entrepreneur. So an entrepreneur does products, does services. A social entrepreneur is someone who sees the needs of society or community and has to pursues a solution using entrepreneurial thinking and sound business practice. So one person that we just talked about, the guy who created Tom's, obviously saw a need. He created a shoe and provided to children with needs by being able to sell something. The other one that we didn't go over is, his name is Solomon Khan. And what Khan did is he created an online learning platform. I don't know if y'all heard of Khan Academy. So he does a lot of the things and offers them. So that's socially responsible entrepreneur. So don't think that you have to be inside the box just to make money. You know, you can make money while selling a product, but that wasn't the goal. The goal can be, I'm here to do something for somebody, and I just have to make a lot of money doing it. So real quick, so I'll give you 5 minutes. Go and talk amongst your table and come up with an idea, and then somebody will be table and have to talk.
All right, let's try it.
You ever play golf? You know when you play golf, you get a bunch of clubs, right?
You're assuming I play golf.
I'm assuming you played before.
I've played once.
Okay. If you ever played golf before, when you buy a set of clubs, you have to pay, if you're a really good club, it's like $300 a club, usually.
That's pretty cheap, but okay.
Maybe it is pretty cheap. But in the long run, it's gonna run you up a couple $1,000s just to get a bunch of clubs, you know? So our idea was to use one club and have an adjustable club. Each club you use gets, the loft decreases as the ball goes further. Our idea was to make a golf club where the loft, you can decrease it manually on one club while also being able to adjust the length of your shaft to, I mean, driver's longer than a 9-iron, so you move your shaft to make it longer to take a golf shot. That way you only have one club and it costs, I don't know, $1,000 less than just buying value with a golf set.
How would you take into consideration the difference between like a graphite shaft and a steel shaft? And
See, that's where we need like 10 minutes more than so that's where I got lost in the process.
what about putter?
Putter? You can just,
zero.
yeah.
You can adjust the loft, yeah. That's interesting. I guess
Hey,
This is hypothetical, this is not like magic, it'd be so hard to do this. The shaft would be huge.
yeah, no. And I guess that's the purpose of it. You know, you have to come up with ideas. So one of my good friends from college was a engineer, brilliant guy, engineer, works at a cookie factory or something weird. But anyways, every time I get an idea, I'd call him and he would tell me, you know, I'd say, hey, Ewan, I got an idea. What do you got this time? But every now and then I'll call him and he goes, that's not that bad. I might have to go to work on that. So he'll go tinker away. We don't have anything yet, so I'm still working for a living. But if I do hit it big on something, I'll let you know. So real quick, throughout the day, I just want y'all to think about what people have done in each different position. I think we have Chris Flanagan from Real Graphics. When you listen to him speak, think about not just the product and the service that he provides, but really think about the story behind it and why there was a need and he filled it. Brookshire Brothers, and I'm not sure if Jay is going to get into the backing behind it, but when you think about what Brookshire Brothers does anybody work at Brookshire Brothers in here? But you've all been in Brookshire Brothers, right? Think of what they've done for the community. Think of what they give back to the community. Think of so that's that local economic services. What do they do? They provide jobs. They provide revenue. They provide, there's no telling how much they give to the community just to the charity perspective. And then we have Blake Polino, he's speaking last, and then once again, great example of someone who is able to adapt, adjust, and fill a need. And I just want you to think about all those things as they come together. And as you graduate, go to college, get jobs, or do whatever it is, I think that the skills that Ty was talking about today, and just y'all staying open-minded and the ability to develop things. Think outside the box. You don't always have to stay within the lanes. You can do things different. I think that there are opportunities out there for y'all. So thank y'all so much for being attentive for the most part, and y'all have a great rest of the day. Hope it's a good one.
Hey, good morning. Hey, Leadership Tomorrow Class 2021. My name's Chris Flanagan. I'm the owner and the founder of Real Graphics here in Lufkin, and I just wanted to introduce you to our company and let you know a little bit about what we do here at Real Graphics, give you a little tour of the place, and show you what we do on the day-to-day. We all started just with me getting started doing a couple small things, and then as we've grown our team, we've grown our capabilities to do a lot of different things under one roof. So let's go check it out and dive in a little bit deeper. Here in the front, you can see that we renovated an old building downtown and made this our showroom and our meeting space to meet with clients. Our designers up here meeting with them one-on-one to talk to them about anything from a logo design to maybe a t-shirt order, sign project, whatever it be. It really starts up here at the front to meet it with those customers. So we have samples up here on hand of things that they might want to see, touch, and feel. I think that's really important. When you order something online, you don't know how that shirt's going to feel or fit, and so to do it here locally, be in the same room and feel it, you can be a little more confident to know that you're going to like the way those caps fit or whatever it be. So coming on, follow me through here. Here is our design offices. Down this hallway, we have different graphic designers officing in here. You can see the different colors of each door for each office. And then coming in through here, this is our print shop. We merged East Texas Printing in-house in 2017, and that gave us these great capabilities for print. So come on in. In this print shop, you will see a big diverse ability to print anything from business cards to brochures, letterheads. It all has a procedure that can happen in here. So it's really a versatile shop. We can print anything from a few items to tens of thousands. And so it's really great. We're proud of our equipment in here that we've updated over the years to just make it as efficient as possible. And so we can take designs that our graphic designers will do, put in the jobs, and they will funnel through these different machines and print them. That machine over there will finish it out and trim it and score it and fold it, do different things. We have an envelope printer that we can not only print on envelopes but also address them and have them all labeled and ready to go to the post office. Really cool guillotine cutter over here that can just cut huge stacks of paper down as we need it. Just all kinds of different things to make it all happen here. We even print our own boxes because, well, that's just awesome. And so anyway, always looking to expand and do more and do great things. So the print shop is a really key place for us in this department to make things happen for our customers. So going down the design hall, these designers are working on things from websites to any of those other customer projects. We've also got a few samples here just showcasing some of the other abilities that we can do as far as lit signage, building sign cabinets, making signs light up at night. Coming on down, we have a wrapped hood on the wall just so our customers can kind of see and feel up close the material that we're using for our vehicle wraps and the capabilities that can be done in the print, and it's the detail. I mean, this looks like an old rusty vehicle hood, but it's just, of course, not. So those are things. We have sign frames here just to communicate options for signage that we could throw up quickly for a customer. On our old truck bed shelf here are just some different engraving capabilities that we have, because again, customers want to see it and feel it and just know what they're going to get. And so that's kind of what this is about, is just letting them have different things from name tags to keychains to some cups that they might want to, maybe give to their staff or for marketing or promotional reasons. We want to give our clients so many options that they can make the right choices of what they want. Here's a neat one that we did this last year, doing an engraved leather patch for caps. Man, that's a really cool trend going on right now. So we want to have that available for our customers and so on. So let's keep going. I don't want to miss anything here. Like I said, more offices. Come in here, we always got to have a break room to grab lunch or whatever. Having the abilities at Real Graphics to customize and make things awesome is what we like to say. We did wrap our old 7-Up Coke machine with our own custom little deal. Ignore the note on there. We built us a break room in here, and then off the break room we got our fab shop. So out here, this is a really cool space for me because this is where a lot of the custom signs kind of come to life. I'm going to show you where it's printed and made, but out here is where we're cutting, we're building, we're welding materials, we're painting sign frames or cabinets or whatever it be to do big and small sign projects outside. This is some space that we didn't have just a few years ago. So for us to be able to grow and have this capabilities to bend metal, to cut metal, and do this in-house is amazing for us and our team. And so it's just allowed us to do different options and bigger projects for our customers when they need it. So let's keep going. So in here, this is the vinyl printing and cutting department area. So still a part of the signage department, but in here you're going to see vinyl being cut, being digitally printed on. Banners can be printed in here, different things like that. You can come look in this side office of all the different colors of vinyl that we keep on hand for anything from storefront windows, maybe it's some decals for a trailer or vehicle. It'll all start at that front computer. The order will be taken, and then it'll be queued up to print, either vinyl being cut, maybe this printer is going to be sending items to be printed at that printer or some other printer. So this is kind of the hub for the signage department. A lot of digital printing going on in here. So let's just keep on looking around. It might get a little louder in here, but we're going to open up. This is the big shop. All this right here is the apparel department. And so we'll dive into that. And then all right over here is a continuation of signage. We've made some updates this last 2 years. Over here, we've got a 10-foot wide roll printer. So this is a roll-to-roll printer, so meaning we can put 10-foot wide material in here, feed it through, and print any width that we want, up to 10 foot, and any length. And so this is a printer. We have our work table in here where we're laminating prints. We're doing a lot of finish work. Maybe we're trimming it out, preparing it for install, whatever it be. Right here, we've got a smart cutting table. This is really cool because what it does is when we queue up our jobs to print, it'll print registration marks. So maybe it goes through that printer, or the printer over there. We can then put it on the cutting table and it will go and cut out that job according to the specs needed. So this right here, these are going to be some PVC letters for Urgent Dock. And so we took this 1/2-inch PVC substrate, put it on the flatbed printer behind me over here. We printed it on, the artwork on there. Now we're putting it on here, and this machine is going to route out the shape of those letters. And so when we're done, we're going to have some 3D letters cut out that we'll install on the wall for this customer. So again, just a lot of versatility here that we can use these different machines to do different things and generate a really cool product for a customer. And so right here, you can see, come on back. This flatbed printer, it looks like it's queuing up to print some yard signs. And so the cool thing about this machine is we have a template on the bed where we can put out the signs and it can throw down the ink on all these different signs at the same time. So it allows us to produce quite a bit, and also it's full color. So we could print, one color on here, or we could print a photo just as well. And this new printer can handle it all. While we're back here, go ahead and let's just take this walk around. This is kind of where we're receiving a lot of our materials. A cool thing for me as far as our business growing over the years is we used to get our deliveries on a UPS, delivery here and there. They would, trickle in as we needed stuff. And it's really cool to see our company grow and the supply demand grow to where we get our supplies delivered on trucks. So we had this bay, set up basically to receive. So on a daily to weekly, we're getting big deliveries of our materials here. And so when I see that, I think it's really cool just to see our progress and growth there, to be getting, these larger shipments of material. This rack right here that we just walked around, that's just where we're storing materials. And again, I can think back 12 years ago where we would keep like a few sheets on hand, and hope that we would need them. And now it's really neat to have such a more of a volume of business that we keep many stocks of material here, and we even have some outside stored in our carport area that we keep on hand, because we never know what that customer's going to need, and we want to turn it out quickly and efficiently and not be waiting for a shipment to come in. So we try to do that. This is also shipping and receiving for incoming and outbound orders. Another cool thing for me is just as a business owner that started this, I think 14 years ago, to see is like we ship out so much now. Used to, our business was just local, everyone pick up, maybe we deliver something from here and there. And now we're delivering, we're having customers pick up, but we're also shipping out to customers that are not just in the Lufkin area. And so that's really cool. So that kind of happens here. This awesome, also you can't help but to notice is our wrap bay area. So Cito's over here working on a really cool wrap for Extreme Collision. We added this part of the shop on this last year just to give us the option to be working on a project there, maybe even bring in another project here where I'm standing. And then we even have an area right here towards the open shop where we could have a trailer or a larger truck also being in here and have multiple projects going on. It's all about taking care of our customer, and when they need something on the fly, it's really helpful to be able to keep working on something but turn out something really fast that something may need to happen. And this space let us do that a lot better. And so we're really grateful for it. So vehicle wraps are really cool and a great part of our business. And we love doing them, so it's really exciting. Seeing neat projects like that one for Extreme Collision, that big monster truck, is really cool. All right, so over here, this is screen printing. Caleb's our head screen printer here. He's been here several years, does a great job. Caleb is working actually on a project for you guys. We are printing some t-shirts for y'all for your Leadership Tomorrow class right here. Caleb, walk us through a little bit of the process. How did we take artwork and get to this point?
Alrighty guys, so for starters, we start with Illustrator. The designers save a file, an AI file. From there, I'll print out something called a transparency. From there, I'll bring you over here. So this is the transparency. This is what it looks like. It's pretty much a clear film with black ink on it. This is your transparency. From there, we have an exposure unit. Our exposure unit is used to burn these screens. So what we'll do is we'll put your transparency here, and then we'll place your screen above it, close it, flip it on. From there, we'll bring it to our washroom.
And so that light exposes the design in there like old school developing film was. When I was in school, there was still a photography class at the high school where we had like a dark room, we exposed film. I don't know if you guys still have that or not, but this process is very similar to that. So once it's exposed, Caleb then will...
So once it's exposed, we'll bring it to our washroom. Our great person here, Chase, he'll spray it out for us. From there, you have these holes from the design that come into the screen. From there, pretty much what you're doing is you're lining it up onto your machine and you're just pushing that ink through. After that's done.
So that screen has now become a big stencil.
Exactly. So once that's complete, you're coming on this side, you're pulling off your shirts and you're running them through your dryer so that way your ink is cured. Pretty much what cure means is that you won't have any washouts. It's completely there. It's not going anywhere. After that, it goes to you.
Yeah, so it's really neat. This ink also doesn't dry by air. So we could leave this ink sitting out for days and it's not going to just get hard or dry that way. It has to go through this heat oven for that cure process to go through. So yeah, check out a little bit right here. That squeegee is sliding across the surface, pushing the ink through to the bottom onto the shirt. Now, this is an automatic press here, which is amazing, and we didn't always have this. We started with a small manual press. We upgraded to a better manual press over the years, and that's what's right here behind Caleb. So that is basically the same process, except the squeegee work is done by your arms, and so it's a workout. We still use this all the time for quick things we might need to get out real fast. Maybe this machine's busy, we can use that one as well, but it's really a neat upgrade that we did in 2019 so that we can do more volume and have a better smooth consistency in our print with this press. So it's done, and Caleb does a good job of keeping all this going. So over here and behind me, this is sublimation and embroidery. Sublimation is a really neat process of taking artwork, printing it on a printer, and taking that print of ink and then pressing it onto fabric to where the ink from the paper print dyes into the fabric. And so it's called sublimation, but it's a sub-dye type process. And so the cool thing about this is you can get this full color design and you can get so much detail and there's no feel. So with screen print, you're putting ink onto the surface of the shirt. With this type of process, you're dyeing the ink into the fabric, and so there's no feel of this. So we can do full color sublimation. And so what this is a product that we make is called our Sport Threads sport jerseys. And these jerseys are designed on the computer, printed out like this in fabric, and then our seamstress Wanda actually sews them up to make a finished jersey. Come here and I'll show you an example. Hopefully the lighting's okay, but this right here, this is our sublimated hoodie we made. Our seamstress worked with us. We actually made this pattern, designed it, printed it, the whole works. This is another example of just a common long sleeve sports hoodie. Jersey. But again, sublimated print all over. You can't feel, oh, my mannequin's falling. It's really a neat product. And so we do that as well here in-house 100%. And then turn around on these embroidery machines. These are really cool machines that can stitch any apparel from caps to shirts. We're running some caps over here. These t-shirts are probably going to be screen printed, more caps right here. And it's got loaded of different needles and threads. And so you coordinate the design of what you're doing, you set it up, and then it knows where to put the threading down and creates the design on the caps. Like I said, same thing. We can switch this machine over, run shirts, blankets, I mean all kinds of different apparel items, but embroidery is a really great product that we do here in-house as well, and we do a good bit of it. So we got different machines here to juggle different orders at the same time. So making our way back around, this is kind of back to the front of the shop, and so closing out our tour, I got to share some of this with you, but let me bring these shirts over to you real quick, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, I'll head over.
Morning.
Got here as soon as I could. I was gonna take the scooter, but the shirts were a little bulky. But cool, good to see you guys. Class of the 2021 is weird to say. Hey, I'm Chris Fliniken, and at Real Graphics, we like to be a little cocky and say that we make awesome. I think I mentioned it earlier. But it just started that idea of just kind of over-delivering and doing more than the customer maybe requested initial. And so, you know, it just kind of started like, well, we just want to make that awesome. Or, hey, that's a great idea for sure. Let's just make that, you know, as awesome as we can. And so that's kind of what started. And I'll try to stick to my little script. Switch Real Graphics, in-house, makes awesome, and it starts with a great design. So we've got a lot of creators on our team. That's one thing I can say up front. Our team is trying to lead this company and lead our team. It's very crazy. And I mean, at first it was small because it was me hiring a few of my friends and family members, you know, and working together. It was cool in that way, but the dynamic has shifted to where now I've got some young, maybe an 18, 19-year-old, to I have people way older than me on our team. We've got millennials, we've got pre-millennials. So it's kind of interesting where we've come, and then to make that even more crazy, we sprinkle in creatives in the bunch. And so it's just all kinds of personality types in this company, all working together for the same goal to make it awesome for our customers. So our design team is a crucial part because without that design wow factor, what we're doing is very common to what a lot of other shops would be doing. So I feel like our designers definitely set us apart, and so very proud of them. I believe we have 7 or 8 now that just have different backgrounds, different. Some of them, you know, got out of high school, went to college to learn, you know, fine arts degrees and things like that, and learn some of the marketing and design elements that way. Some of them went to college, did a 2-year program, and then just started learning themselves. And then we've got some that totally didn't. And one guy, he was a teacher. He went to school, I think he was a history teacher, and was always just kind of an art guy and an artist, and drew and had these other passions on the side, and was in between jobs. He has a family and everything several years ago, and he's just like, always wanted to pursue something of creativity and art, and anyway, so I guess we had an opening at that time, and we started at entry level. He took a huge pay cut from where he was, just started entry level, and now he's one of our top guys. But it's just neat to see the passions that these guys have, and they do great creative work. So we're designing anything from, okay, that's pretty funny, but that's actually a picture of the silo when we're in. But do anything from like a logo design, websites, we're doing video and other projects like that now, as well as you know, print products and sign layouts and vehicle wraps and all that kind of stuff. It all starts with our creative team there. There's some logos that we guys have created. Web's such a big part. It's always been. I kind of luckily thought of this or stumbled into this or whatever in the early days. Built our first website in 2000. It was either late 8 or early 9, around there. And so first I built one for myself as Real Graphics and learned from there, and then found a customer that was willing to give me a shot, and built that website and just kind of learned from there and there. And websites have still been a big part of our company because it's just so important for all businesses. And so we've learned in our abilities there, and that's why we really actually this year branched out our web department is now really our digital media department, because man, times are just so evolving and changing quickly, that photos and video, It's so important to make that content well and have that not only on a website, but on social media and other platforms. So we're growing and changing to do that. So we've actually restructured some of our team members to be the digital media department and servicing those things. So yeah, different websites, different organizations, different styles. We're having to constantly be learning in this area. I mean, when I first built our first site, it was an HTML site, a little bit of JavaScript, and a little bit of just CSS coding, some style sheets. And now, I mean, then it went to WordPress and databases and just a lot more complicated stuff. And then it evolved into how responsive the site is. So it wasn't so much just the structure of it, but now how can it respond to the different devices. At first, it was just making a mobile version and then a desktop version. And then that wasn't enough, and now it's basically scaling adaptability to whatever screen size you've got. And so that's an always evolving area right there for sure. Print, and I can share a little bit later on this, but basically print was always an important part, and I would outsource it. I had a few good printers that I'd send stuff to, and outsource print products, and it just got to the point, which a lot of things in our company, where I just couldn't outsource anymore, and we bought a print shop that was an existing print shop in Lufkin called East Texas Printing, and we merged it into our company in 2017, and it solved a lot of those obstacles we had, just because we had having our own print shop let us be more flexible in our pricing, our turnaround. When customers were like, man, I really want a card, but I don't want it this size, I want it this size, or I want a brochure, but I want it to be square, or whatever it be, we can adapt to those options and fulfill it. And so when you're working with a big bulk printer, you're just in line, you're sending your jobs in queue, and you don't have any flexibility, you don't have any other options. If their quantity sales are 2,500 or 5,000, you better order whichever. Sometimes customers need 3,000, not 5. And so it just helped us adapt and do things way better. And then another thing that happens sometimes is we print a run for a job, and they're like, hey, we've got 50 more of those cards. Crap, I can't do that because I'm outsourcing someone else and they're wherever, and it was tricky. And so by getting our print shop in-house, it allowed us to like, yeah, no problem, print those real quick, come by, grab them, whatever. And it gave us that option to serve our customers better. So the print department, even though things are going so much more digital online, in print industry, I would say probably not at its peak and everything, but it's still so strong and needed because there's still those tangible things. You still have paper on your table right now, and there's just some items you just want to print. And even in the personal connection of business cards, I mean, there's still something really good about, hey, here's your business card, call if you need me. That still gets used today, and we get to fulfill that part in-house. So yeah, printing is just a diverse thing, from folders and cards, brochures, different things. Here's a little video of just our print shop. I don't remember how long this was, 30 seconds maybe. But it was just kind of trying to communicate, hey, all those different print products, we've got it covered in-house, printing the booklets. There's actually probably some good music to this, you can just imagine it. But yeah, and stickers, that was another cool thing. Our print shop, we're definitely more diverse in our abilities. We also upgraded a lot of our equipment in 2019, which was a business strategy. Upgrade all this business, all our equipment in 2019 at the end of the year, because it's going to set us up for a strong 2020, so we can do more volume, more efficiently, run the thicker papers, we can cut and score and perforate different ways than we could before. We did all that, got it in place for last year, so that made it really interesting this year, have that and all that. But our print shop, we beefed it up and we're ready to run. The apparel department, again, in the apparel department, that includes screen printing, sublimation, and embroidery, mentioned before. So getting creative on the design is a big deal. You want a shirt worth wearing. The other thing too is having the samples and the different brands and stuff on hand. So that way we really can over-deliver the customer on the actual garment. That's what we goes into. Vehicle wraps, we started that in 2010. We did our first one, and that's basically putting a big sticker on the vehicle. And that part of the business has been really strong. Y'all seen, notice vehicle wraps more and more as the years go on. And I think it's just a good, effective way that companies can advertise what they do, who they are, in the areas that are already serviced. So if the plumbers are going into this neighborhood to do a house call, gosh, you might as well advertise on the way in and advertise to the neighbors around, and then people will know and think about, well, when I need something, hey, I know this one trusted sign I saw next door, I'm sure they can take care of it, whatever it be. Roofers, plumbers, electricians, it's all really effective for them to be communicating where they're already working, who they are. So that's a great way. So, and we try to do really give options. Sometimes it's not everybody can wrap the whole vehicle. We might do a partial wrap or whatever it is. We try to give those customers options to make it happen. This is the one that's almost done in the shop right now. And it's a fun one. We wrapped it a few years back. But these guys are extremely pleased on the way to Dodgeball. I mean, this truck probably doesn't drive a few miles a year. Mainly, it just sits out front and looks good, and so they kind of recognize that as a really eye-grabbing attention getter for them to be located on the highway. They park that dude out front. And a lot of times too, I send people that way and I'll say something about, it's over there, and they're like, oh yeah, with a big truck out front. Yeah, that's the one. So it's working for them, and so so that's a neat, fun part. That takes a lot more skill than just sticking it on. I mean, gosh, we're breaking down these vehicles so much to put the wrap on and put it all back together. It takes a little skill with the guys. Here's another little video of just making awesome vehicle wraps. You can kind of see here, that's a section of the vinyl right there, starts with the great design. Then we kind of strategically plan out how the panels are going to lay out on the vehicle, depending on the vehicle, and we bring them out in sections and then just kind of like piece it together. And we try to do all that to where you just see as few seams as possible. We want the design to be consistent, flowing around the vehicle as much as possible. So it takes some planning into that. And another core part is signage. Signage kind of ranges now for us. I mean, we started with just signage on, some yard signs, some banners, some basic things, and we've really broadened that so much now, where it's a lot more from, it could be just a temporary banner or a yard sign, maybe a political sign like we're printing a lot right now for local campaigns. But then it could be more of an outdoor, larger structured, electrical, lit, big sign. And so anywhere between, we're there now. We've evolved in that. We actually just got our electrical sign contractor license like a year and a half ago, to where we can do bigger and more grand signs. So it's just really great. So, but again, this takes a lot of equipment, machinery, to be able to cut, build sign structures that way. Maybe we're routing out sign faces or custom letters, like on the Texas now. Those are routed out letters and they're overlaid, glued on a back substrate to make more of a 3D look. So just different things, but all those little variables kind of just make all these possibilities for our customers in the signage area. So what is the real story? I wasn't always going to be an entrepreneur or a sign guy or a graphics guy or whatever. I was going to be youth ministry forever. My life was transformed as a young student when I really had a true relationship with Christ. And I just wanted to get that for everybody. I was like, I want to help other teenagers experience life. So that was kind of my plan. I set off to do that. And in doing that, I had different jobs. I had worked and served in just different churches and different roles, and it just kind of led me down this journey. And at one point, I was like, gosh, I got to make some money. I'm in my 20s, just always struggling financially, but just doing what I really love to do in these churches. And as I would go from church to church, in different roles, not like bouncing around. But, and I would, design T-shirts for youth camps and different things like that were involved. And so what was happening was I was just learning all these different little things going along, and it kind of fell into place whenever just pursuing a passion, started helping out another friend. Hey, yeah, man, I'll design a poster for your event at your church. And it kind of started this little side business. And the other thing that happened that wasn't expected was a friend of mine, he's trying to start a printing business. And he was a National Guard. We went to high school together. So he took his National Guard sign-on bonus money, whatever, he finished his initial serve time, and he bought this printer, and he tried to get it going, but this was early 2000s, he kept getting called off to serve at on different tours, and so he'd come back 9 months later and try to get it going again, and he'd go away to Turkey for some time, and it just never got off the ground. And he had a girl, and that changes things anyway. So then he get married, he's like, I'm done with this printer. He's like, why don't you buy it from me? You could use it at your church and print stuff and posters or whatever it be. And I was like, no way, man, I don't have the money. And he talked me into it, and it went for like $1,000. I mean, he bought it for more, but it was years old, and he took his storage, and he came down to like $200. And he was like, twisting my arm, like, $200, just take it. You know, I was like, okay, fine, I'll buy that printer. And I hope I paid him $200. But the biggest risk at that point was that I basically maxed out my credit card with another $1,000 to buy ink for the damn thing. But anyway, I was going for it, man, why not? This is a great idea. At the time, I was designing stuff and I was getting it printed, like maybe Office Depot at the time, or Pioneer Printing, somewhere like that would have a machine that could print large enough. And so anyway, so it was like, man, that would be cool to go do it myself, whatever. So it was not a business thought, it was just a hobby at this time. And so anyway, got that printer going. It was so finicky. Oh my gosh, you had to like just breathe on it right and everything. But anyway, I could get that thing to print, and I used it, and it really just was a cool thing. And that's kind of where it started to shift to like, man, I like this. This could be something. And again, it wasn't like I want to build this big business. It was just more of like, I think I can do something like this on the side, you know. And so I did, and that's kind of where it started. Well, let's jump ahead. But a few years later, it was just me for a while. I quit my other jobs, and I had a job or two always. And so it got to where I was like, man, I'm going to just do this. And finally, I was just full-time Real Graphics. And a year later, I met my wife at Real Graphics. She came in to intern, which just sounds weird that I married my intern. But no, she came in and she went to UNT for graphic design. And I already had like another intern guy, and he was helpful, but man, I just had to spend a lot of time showing him what I'm just figuring out myself. So I'm showing him stuff, and it wasn't the greatest thing, you know. So when another person emailed me, I was like, hey, I want to come and intern and get some experience. I'm just like, I don't know if I have time, but you're really busy. And I was like, why not? Yeah, come on, I can't pay you, but I can let you get experience in different things. Because by this point in 2010, we were having shirt screen printed. We had probably another printer by that point. We were doing vinyl work, like vinyl cut decals and stuff. Like everyone has a Cricut now. I was doing that in the early days. We were sending stuff out for printing. So there was a lot of different projects already going on at Real Graphics by this point. And so anyway, so it's like, yeah, come on. Well, this girl was amazing. I mean, she was pretty, yes, but her skill was really great. I mean, and it just kind of opened up my eyes on the possibilities. Like, I knew I wasn't no great designer, but I was just faking it to make it. You know, I mean, I was doing enough to get by, and it was out of the ordinary, it was going the right way. And she brought us to a whole different level. I mean, really, she could envision things just from scratch, making cool stuff up, and it went really great. So anyway, so we dated and got married. We've got these wonderful 3 girls now. It's still kind of shocking that I'm a parent or other humans. It just, time flies, y'all. I mean, just the other day I was in your shoes, you know, and now it's like I'm an adult. But anyway, the life's fun with 3 girls, so it's definitely shifted a lot of my drive and a lot of the why of my life. But it's fantastic. But that's where it began here in this little shop. It was about 500 or 600 square foot on Timberland. Man, the first time when I moved in, I didn't put this picture, but the one of the first pictures is like an empty room with a small desk and like a whole couch on the end. Like, I didn't have anything else to put in there other than that one printer, you know? And so it was totally different that first year, just trying to fill up the room. And then it didn't take a couple of years, and it's like, okay, where are we going to put stuff? But we were just definitely maximizing like every square inch of that place to do as much as we could for our customers. I mean, this was us trying to keep shirts on hand so we could make shirts, heat pressing them. We had a little work table here. The other printer was right here. I mean, there's just a little walk around space, and we were just trying to do, again, as much as possible there. So it was very versatile. 2016, after a long time of just maxing out every space of that building, we moved downtown, bought this building just a couple blocks over, and it was a mess, y'all. It was a mess. We actually looked at this building, which is a very similar structure of some of our space. And then I was dreaming big, it just wasn't happening. And I think it was just a God timing thing because that building's a better fit for us. And then a year later, Ashley and Brittany snagged this place up and made it into what it is. So it definitely worked out for the best. But we definitely had our work cut ahead. So we made that space as great as we could. And oh man, this is a fun little video.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of sound, Philip Harbuck made this with us. Just kind of, we wanted to do something special moving downtown.
To the bank and said, I need a building. Jump roper's like, how much? I got your funding. And I'm like, honestly, I don't know, it's at an auction. He said, it's all good. Have I got the deal for you? No caution. Ooh, it's too real. Production room and a place for meals. We can wrap anything here that's on wheels. And as a foreclosure, it's a heck of a deal. We moved downtown. Cleaned up all the grease. Mopping. It would never cease. Easy. Not as much as it seems. And bigger. It's all about your dream.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. It's the music video. Nothing to worry about it.
Yeah, so that's what happened when we had Wife and some of the other guys wrote the lyrics, did the music, sang the parts, the whole deal, and Philip came and videoed it all and made it look awesome. So that was just a fun way to say. And it was our 10-year anniversary. That's a big deal. We wanted to make that kind of special here. So here we are. And so well, we're not 12 years now, but this was whenever we kind of got everything moved in. And so this is kind of the space which you've already seen. And so it's definitely been a cool journey. But there's definitely some lessons that I've learned along the way. So I just want to share 10 things with you real fast that I've learned along this journey is you got to trust the path. Sometimes things may not be clear, you may not be knowing everything, but whenever things open up opportunities, sometimes you just got to kind of take that step and just see what happens and trust the path. I mean, that's kind of how I identify. Like, I mean, it wasn't a clear thing. I didn't even understand that I was going to start with this. I didn't even register to this name for the first, like, almost 9 months or a year. I was just kind of stepping out and seeing what would happen. And sometimes, life gives you those opportunities. Seasons are for a reason. Sometimes things would come along, and it would just be so difficult or hard or a struggle here or there, and you don't understand why when you're in those seasons, but there's reasons for that. There's something good that come out of it. So it's just important to hang in there and just to push through it, because there's probably a reason why you're going through it. You just might not know it yet, but hang in there. The other thing is you gotta put in the time. You know, I think so many times we like to look at people and we like to see where they're at and think like, you know, man, I wanna be there. But what chances are, 99% of the time, they put in the time to push through and get there. I mean, I think even with Tomei's story, you know, they didn't just pop up here and have this stuff going on. I mean, they started, I met her so early. She didn't have any of this facility, and I remember at one point then she took a step and rented a facility. I mean, she took all these necessary steps, but she put in the time, the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears to really make dreams come true. And I think that's just part of it. You know, I mean, it would be nice to get a microwave success. You know, just like I want to get there quick, I want to blow through college and just get to that job or whatever it be. But it doesn't go. You don't fast forward through some of the makings of yourself. You just got to put in the time and be faithful. You know, I saw another young man the other day kind of complaining about his job and I'm just not appreciating it. I'm like, dude, you just got to stay where you're at until God moves you or there's another opportunity. You be faithful there. You do the best job you can. You know, you work hard at it. I mean, I had summers working for $6 an hour cleaning medical equipment, used medical equipment. It was gross. It was hard work. It was terribly, it was so hot in the warehouse. You know what? But that's what I was doing at that time, and you just got to put in the time, whatever you're doing. And so, yeah. And then don't miss the jump. Sometimes, you know, people do want to get comfortable where they're at. Maybe things are easy right now, and it's just safer to stay where you're at or go this direction. But man, sometimes there are these opportunities that come, and don't miss the jump. You know, don't be scared to spend $200 on the printer that you don't have $200 for, and just give it a shot and see what happens. Because man, it could be a big deal. You know, and it might, like I said, it might be a shift change that you just kind of like, well, I wasn't planning to do that, whatever it be. Just be, don't be worried about it. The other thing to always just know is it's going to rain again. You know, like sometimes you come out of a season or a storm and you kind of get going, you get some momentum going. And I think it's always good just to remember, hey, you know, let's hit it hard while we can because something's going to come at us. You know, for us as a company, we're coming out of these COVID years, lots of obstacles to overcome, lots of just tricky things financially, logistically, and all that going on. Yeah. And we kind of got some little momentum going the last few months. You know, then we had this crazy little winter storm. You know? I mean, not a big deal, I know, but for a company, like it shut us down for 7 days, it stopped income, people still need paychecks, I mean, it caused some trickiness, you know? So it's always going to rain. I'm just prepared for it, roll with it, push through it. That's most important. Build with those around you, you know, whether it's teammates, classmates, friends, family. I mean, people are in your life for a reason, and I just say make the most of it, you know? And I started that literally just because it was family members that started helping me in the business in the early days, but you know, just build with those around you. They're in your life for a reason a lot of times. Integrity is not part-time. Being genuine who you are, what you say you're going to do, is not something you can, you know, turn off and on. You have to be true, you have to be genuine at all times. That's really part of where real came from. In our name is that word real at that time was just impactful to me because that by definition it just meant to be genuine, to be authentic. And I just felt like so many people didn't want to be that. You know, they wanted to be one person in front of some people and then a different person in front of others. And I guess I just never wanted to go that route. I wanted to be genuine all the time, who I am, and so on. And then when I started this business, at the time, you know, I wanted to be related. And so that's where I brought the word real into that. You can't skip a step, you know, I kind of mentioned earlier. I mean, you know, it'd be nice just to like, yeah, man, that looks really tough. I just want to get over that. You can't skip a step. You got to follow through it. Know your why. You know, a lot of times I think we can go down avenues or pursue something and maybe we just didn't really think it through. Maybe don't know why we're doing this. And I think at times when things get rough and things get, you know, difficult or we grow weary, you know, we can lose some of that if we don't know why. So if we know why we're doing this, you know, it's going to help us push through to the other side and keep things clear. And the other thing too is to watch for is just God's in the details. You know, as our lives are getting navigated, like I did not understand why I had so many of these different jobs and things over the years, and like I would pursue something like, oh man, this is going to be, you know, it or whatever, and it wouldn't be. But looking back, man, it's just like, well, you know what? Whenever I did that, I learned these skills. Whenever I was serving and waiting tables, I learned so much people and customer service skills that I didn't think I'd ever have to use, but it came into play. And whenever, so just all these different things that I went through, along my journey. Looking back, I can see that God was orchestrating things for a reason and a purpose. And so I can appreciate that way more now at the end. But anyway, so over the years, I became a thing called an entrepreneur. When I didn't really know what an entrepreneur was, it just kind of evolved and happened. But starting the company, Real Graphics, definitely was the biggest thing. And then I started a thing called Lufkin Real Estate Magazine, was just getting some feedback from some real estate agents about the need of man, locally I need a way to show my houses and blah, blah, blah. And so, we just started this thing. I think that was in 2011, maybe, I don't know. And then 2012, got married. And normally when people get married, they save up and buy a house. And that was our plan. But we pivoted on that because I always thought storage units would be a really neat business to get into. It'd be different from what I'm doing. It'd be a little more diverse. I actually went to school with someone whose dad had storage units. And again, I'm just a teenager. But I was like, that's neat, So, and I remember asking this girl, so your dad, his job is that he has, rental properties and storage units? And she's like, yeah. Where does he go to work every day? Well, he manages, pretty cool. So it always just stuck, and my wife knew that, and we met someone that had some storage units for sale in Alcohol. And, anyway, next thing you know, instead of buying a house, we put everything we could to buy these units, and they were run down, and that's why we could afford them. We fixed them up, made it into a business. In 2016, I bought an embroidery and apparel business called Sport Threads, and we merged it in with Real Graphics, but I kept the name Sport Threads, and that's where the Sport Threads is coming in. So we sell those separately. We have different websites for Sport Thread jerseys that people can go online, order their jersey, we print them and make it at Real Graphics and ship them out to them. So that's just another little side business. It's pretty much ran in Real Graphics through Real Graphics, but it has its own identity. Bezel Box was a jewelry subscription box I started with two of my best friends in 2016. Yes, this was a great idea. Our wives all thought we were crazy and nuts. We ran that sucker for 3 years and finally retired her in 2019. We learned a lot along the journey, but that is one thing that just did not go up the way we expected. Anyway, and then in 2017, bought these Section Printing, merged it in with Real Graphics. And so we retired Bezel Box, but I did replace it with the Ice House on Frank Street last year. Another one of those things, man, that seems like a neat business, selling ice all year long. You don't have to be there. It's just an automatic vending machine, And one thing led to another. I made a comment to one person, Todd Stracener, and just man, I said, does Mark Hates own that one over here? Oh no, he's someone else does. And I just literally said, man, I just think that'd be a neat thing to be into. And then 2 weeks later, he calls me hey, I got someone that owns one that wants to sell it. You want to get together with them? And I'm like, yeah, that's what happened. So I think I'm going to rename that one, though, to Twice the Ice College Fund. Hopefully that's what it can be. But anyway, so Real Graphics is still definitely my core. That's what my main passion is. And it's just continually growing and evolving to meet customers' needs and what we can do for our community. So I've said a lot. Is there anything, comments or thoughts or questions that I can answer or elaborate on?
What do you say is the number one thing that helps you out with maintaining all of the businesses?
Well, before it was me juggling a lot. I've got some better team, and what I really did this last year that helped me a lot is I kind of put an admin team together with my company. And so I've got these 4 people that I'm really relying on. And this kind of came with some advice from other business folks. And so what I did, I kind of had these 4 people, and they're helping me with that. Because it did start to get pretty sloppy when my main passion and focus is Real Graphics, and the building is going to heck at Dive Ball, or whatever it be. And so having these guys a little more on the same page, they're helping me a bunch. And so, say for instance, with Dive Ball, Brittany's taking that over, and we put it on a complete, like automated software, to where it keeps up with the payments and the billing, it sends out reminders when people's bills are due, it sends us reminders if someone didn't pay their bill, and so I put some of those things in place to help with that. Another thing with Real Graphics, several years ago, we put a system like that in place called Shopbox, because we were just having hiccups along the way and with growing pains and stuff, so we leaned to that, and that software kind of helps us run, keep some of that going, and like I said, I just kind of task different folks with, all right, hey, will you help me keep this in track and so on. So I'm leaning on people for that. I'm by personality, and this I think is really helpful. You can learn your personality type, your strengths, your weaknesses. I think it's just a good, healthy way to move forward. Meaning, over the years, I've kind of learned backwards some of my strengths and weaknesses. And it kind of was a lot of governance, you know, like where I'm like, that's fine. You know, I'm not a good manager. I'm following through on repeating tasks, but two of the other people on my team members are excellent at that. So whenever I'm like, hey, every month these things happen, they're good executors. So I'm definitely a better visionary, dreamer. Let's go jump and try this out. But having them on my team kind of helps me keep people more grounded. And my wife actually, you know, where we can, okay, hey, that's really a great idea, but can we actually follow through? Are we doing the work that, and so on. So I think having different people in my life helping with that is a big deal. Because if it wasn't for some people that, I'd probably jump into 10 other things and do them before. So that is a fear of mine is, you know, and even at Real Graphics, I mean, one of the first things Mark Hicks told me in advice when I met him many years ago, he came in and it just was like, hey, I want to meet you. I heard about the company, this and that. All right, but he said, stick to one thing really well. And I did the opposite. And so by doing the opposite, I've always kind of had the fear of like, I'm going to get too spread and just start sucking everything. But by having the team members in place, I went over every department to make sure we're on point. I think that's key for me. Last deal. All right, guys, we all kill it. Go forward, take over the world. We need you. So stay strong leaders, be examples of those around you, and do great things. Thanks for your time today. Appreciate it. At whatever point, we've got these bags. Our team labeled them with names. And so your shirts are in here, with the cool pair of sunglasses as well. So help yourself to this whenever that point.
We'll get them at the end and we'll take a picture.
Sounds awesome, man. Well, cool. Thanks again for y'all's time.
Thank you.